Hey, I'm Adam Jusko from ProudMoney.com, and in this video I'm going to review the opensky secured credit card. But before I do that, I'd ask you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already, and if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So in other videos, I have talked about secured credit cards as a good way to build credit. If you don't know, a secured credit card requires you to put down a deposit in order to get the card. You use the card just like any other credit card. That deposit is only there as a safety for the bank if you don't pay your bills. But if you get the card and you pay your bills on time, most secured credit cards, the point of them is to help you rebuild your credit or build credit if you don't have any. So these cards are going to report to the major credit bureaus. So if you make your payments on time, you're going to improve your credit score, and assuming you make all those payments, you eventually can get that security deposit back. So it is refundable. It is not something that the bank keeps. As long as you pay your bills, they're going to give it back to you. Now, one of the things I usually say is that if you're going to get a secured credit card, you should get one from a major bank such as Bank of America or Discover or maybe Capital One or Citi, one of these banks that you may want to use the card as a stepping stone to an unsecured card down the road, a way to have a relationship with a major bank that may have one of the better credit cards that you are going to want in the future. In particular, some of these banks will actually consider you for those cards. They'll consider giving you your security deposit back if you make your payments on time over a certain period. And of course, then you may have the ability to apply for their better cards as well. Now, all that said, sometimes people still get rejected even for secured cards from the major bank. And that might be if you have a very recent bankruptcy, or you have some very recent history of not paying your bills with other credit cards or whatever. Sometimes these kind of cards are going to require you to have a bank account, and not everyone has a bank account. So there are reasons that you could be turned down for secured cards at other places. And that is where the opensky secured card comes in after that big lead in. The opensky secured card is from a bank called Capital Bank. It is not Capital One Bank, it is Capital Bank. And what they do is they offer a secured credit card that you can get without there being a credit check. And so if you have been, turned down elsewhere, there's probably a much better chance that you will be, approved for an opensky card. Now, that does not mean it's guaranteed. There are still reasons that, you might not get this card. You still need to have some income. You have to be a citizen or permanent resident of the U.S. You have to be 18 years old, all that kind of stuff. So there are still possibilities of being rejected. But for the most part, if you go after this card, there's probably a pretty good chance you're going to get it, even if you may have been rejected, for secured cards from other banks for whatever reason. Now, just like those other secured cards, opensky is the same kind of thing. You put a deposit down, your credit line is essentially the same as that deposit. You use it like a regular credit card. Again, when you don't need that card anymore, the security deposit comes back. The opensky card reports to all the major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. In terms of its interest rates and fees, really not terrible, not great, but not terrible for a secured credit card. A 19.14% interest rate as of the making of this video. You do have an annual fee of $35. Now, there are other secured cards that don't have annual fees, but again, we're talking about a card for people that may be having trouble getting secured cards elsewhere. A $35 annual fee is not part of the deposit. That is a separate fee. I don't like that fee, but it's not, again, a terrible, terrible thing. There are some from major banks that have annual fees that are similar to that, so it's not completely out of line. In terms of other fees, if they want you to pay online, so if you get a paper statement and pay that way, they're going to charge you $3 a month, so you're going to want to stay away from that, and you're going to want to stay online. Now, like I said, I talked about other secured cards where you might need a bank account. This one you do not need a bank account to open. You can open it with a money order or through sending money through Western Union, so you can fund your account that way. So overall, not a terrible secured card, not terrible on the interest rates, not terrible on the annual fee. Now, of course, like any secured card, you're going to have a fairly small credit line unless you really put a lot of money down. Really, this is a short-term solution, though, because you are not, going with a major bank, and opensky says that you will not get an unsecured card from them. You are getting a secured card. Now, they may increase your credit line without asking for further deposit, but this is really not a card that, this bank is then going to give you a better card down the road. You're still going to have to go to a different bank eventually if you want an unsecured card. So again, it's sort of a short-term solution, sort of a stepping stone if you can't get a secured credit card elsewhere. If you can, I would say don't go with this, but if you are in a situation where you can't get one elsewhere, opensky is an option for you. So that is it. I would appreciate it if you would add any comments, if you have any experience yourself with the opensky credit card, or if you have any comments otherwise. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and please go to proudmoney.com where we do other credit card reviews and have personal finance news and all sorts of other fun stuff too. Thanks for watching. Bye.